this is Mockingbird, and welcome to Gens Before Friends. I'm here with my lovely co-hosts. We have Morbid Plum
Hello.
and Queen Amgie,
Hi guys.
and we're on episode 32.
I,
Yay!
Wow.
I don't know why I waved like you guys can see me.
It's been a little bit. It was like really slow in the DVD news for like the last, like a month ago, and then things have really picked up with the Tokyo Ghoul chapter. So we have a lot to talk about
Yeah.
today.
I feel like it was like, hey, there's nothing happening, and then boom, everything
I
happened.
know. So we originally were going to do a whole episode on this topic. We're going to talk about Chaos Shuffle because we didn't have anything else to talk about. And I took
Yeah.
a bunch of information. I played a bunch of matches and kept the screenshots, and then we were going to like analyze it and all that, and then Tokyo Ghoul came out, so we kind of scrapped a lot of that. But we are going to let's talk about Chaos Shuffle though, because we had Chaos Shuffle, and we're actually going to get Chaos Shuffle again on April 29th through May 6th.
Why?
Yay.
That was one of my bullet points.
Yay.
Well, I guess we could in general talk about how we felt about the last Chaos Shuffle. I do feel like I was tunneled less. There was still tunneling, but I felt like it was better. But I also got a lot of the same perks over and over again, which was
Yeah.
not very chaotic.
It's not very chaos shuffle of them, you know what I
It
mean?
wasn't
Like,
very shuffly. Like, it
yeah,
was
so
like,
you need to
No.
shuffle more.
here's 5 of them. I'm just going to keep giving you the same ones. So
Yeah, I have
deal with it.
my results. So like, well, I played like 70 Survivor matches just for
Nice.
y'all. Gosh, like in the first day or two, I got Repressed Alliance 7
Yeah.
times. Like, no joke. Like,
Jeez.
the most common perks I got was Repressed Alliance was 7, Open Handed was 6, and then at 5 I got Inner Focus and Invocation Weaving Spiders. And then
I got
after
that
that, it was more leveled out. I had a bunch of that I got 4 times and 3 times. I noticed like I would get a lot of the same perks on certain days. It wasn't like
one.
through the whole event. So like the first couple of days I got Repressed Alliance.
Interesting.
And then later on I had a day where I got Overcome like back to back to back. And I was like, what is going on? Like and then there were perks, of course, I didn't get at all. There were, oh my God, there's quite a few I didn't get at all.
Yeah, I was looking at your data. There was a lot.
I never got, like, Blast Mine I never got. There's 2 boons I didn't get. I didn't get Deliverance, Inner Strength, like, Iron Will. There's like, I'd have to count. This looks like about 20 perks I never got. And I played 70 games of Survivor. And that's not including killer rounds too, but...
Yeah, I got that basement perk so many times.
Wicked?
like,
Was it Wicked?
No, it was the other one. Sorry, I
Oh,
said
were you
basement perk.
healed?
No, it's the one where you do the invocation.
Oh, well, yeah,
The
that is the base. That one too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the gens go faster
Yeah.
or
That's,
whatever.
Yeah.
And
that's
I
the
got it
weaving
like
spiders.
pretty much. I think I got it like 4 times in a row. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go use it. It's my only chance because I'm never gonna run this perk.
No.
I feel like they picked all the perks that like nobody runs and then threw them in the pot.
I feel like the invocation perks definitely get thrown in because I would notice teammates would have them too.
hmm
Mhm.
And also, if you're running the other invocation one, the crow one, don't die for that stupid perk. I had
Yeah.
a Lori. I still remember this match. I had a Lori that used it, and I thought it was going to be the Gen one. No, it was the crow one, and then she died. And I'm just like, why? Don't be broken over
Mhm.
that perk. Don't.
That
It's
one's
not worth it.
so situational too, like
It's just not
and
good.
map
Period.
wise and everything, if it's even gonna work for you.
It's
Yeah.
got too many conditions, in my opinion. If it was just show the killer's aura when they disturb a crow,
hmm
but like I think it's also like a survivor has to be there too. Like it's within
Yeah.
the vicinity of a survivor. I'm like, no. Like
Yeah.
too much to try to get it to have value. But
I admit, I didn't play a lot of Chaos Shuffle at all.
Yeah, same.
I did it for the podcast, and then we're not
I
going to really talk
know.
about it, but it's okay. I mean, like I said, I felt like I had more fun this Chaos Shuffle than the one previously. There was still tunneling. I feel like Chaos Shuffle is like the tunnel shuffle because killers know you're probably not
Yeah.
running DS or unbreakable. Like it's very slim chance you're gonna get like second chance perks, so there's a lot more tunneling. But I would say I felt like it was less overall this time. But I really don't want to play again at the end of the month.
No, when you said it was coming back, I was like, I don't why.
Well, I have a feeling it's because this game mode is very easy to just put it in. They don't have to
That's true.
change anything with it. It's just, it is what it is. It's very simple game mode of like random perks.
Hmm.
But they
Press a
don't
button.
but they don't do a rift for it or anything,
Yeah.
If
which
they did
makes it
that, it
boring.
would kind of probably be more into it because I'd be like, oh, at least I'm getting something out of it.
Hmm.
Hmm. I'm dying and I'm not happy, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a cute cosmetic.
exactly.
Yeah, we're not going to get anything. So April 29th through May 6th is Chaos Shuffle
Mark
again.
mark your calendars.
Um, we also have Fragment Frenzy, so I guess if you need to work on the rift, you should play. But you don't have to play Chaos Shuffle for that.
Oh, thank God.
But I think we're kind of done with Chaos Shuffle. I'm like, give me 2v8. Like,
Oh yeah.
I love
I
TVA.
don't care if you add more killers or not. Just put 2v8 in
Yeah, I
with
have a
what we
lot more
have.
fun with 2v8.
I know. I love playing with another killer, usually even with a random killer. Though sometimes I get baby killers, but it is
Fun.
what it is.
Yeah, you get to kill with your friends or
But
I
random
feel like
people.
it's a lot less pressure,
I
and
also, yeah, go
sometimes
ahead.
it's fun to have all the good matches, you know?
Yeah.
I also love the class system that they have for
Yeah.
2v8 with the survivor side. It's so much easier. I like some of the classes a lot. I think that they're very balanced. Yeah, 2v8. When are we getting 2v8?
2v8. 2v8.
Do we have any other thoughts on Chaos Shuffle? I guess we're going to keep it brief on the Chaos Shuffle part.
Well, I will say, to your point, I do think they were circulating perks, and I would be curious to see if it was like a daily thing, because on the days we did play, we did see certain perks a lot more.
Mm.
So I wonder if that's their way of like cycling through the perks, which I don't think is super efficient. Like, I want all 100 something perks to be in the pool. You know what I mean? I do find it odd when you have those days where it's like, okay, like, how many times do I need to get the stupid? I always call them the twins. I know they're not the twins.
Oh, the
Renato
teamwork,
and Polita, like the teamwork
There's the two
Yeah.
perk.
teamwork perks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how many times do I need to get those? I'm wondering if they're trying to do something different. Just
Yeah.
throw them all in. I think it's weird for it to be a shuffle and for me not to see more of a variety, considering
Yeah,
how
for
many
sure.
perks there are.
That, and I feel like when we get to the end game lobby and we look at everyone's perks and like the randos we might have in our match, sometimes we'll have the same perks. And I'm
The same
like,
perks. Yeah,
statistically, should that be happening? And it's not just like
yeah,
once, it's like, I feel like it's every match we play. There'll
yeah.
be a couple perks that overlap. And with I don't know, how many perks are there? There's like over 100
Uh,
There's
Survivor.
there's
there's too many.
149 in
There's
for
too
those
140
many
survivors.
for overlap.
149, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, that's way too many
Uh,
perks to be getting the same perk.
exactly.
And I
Mhm.
And
guess
then
they
for
don't.
killers, it's
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
127.
Yeah, I'm curious if like they can't code it to be that every survivor in the lobby has different perks. Does that make sense? Because you're talking about
Yes.
four players, four perks, that's 16 perks in the round. And you tell me you can't shuffle them like out of 149, like you can't give everyone different perks. I don't know.
That's why I'm wondering if there's like a daily pool and the perks are pulled from there.
I
And
definitely
that's
feel like
why
that.
we have those days where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, all of us are pulling from these set numbers perks, so that's why we're getting duplicates on people.
I do.
And especially if Mocking said that she had, like, she noticed that on some days she got, like, the same thing. So it would kind of
Mm-hmm.
answer some questions we had.
List behavior.
Yeah.
Can it
I know.
actually be a shuffle?
Someone data mine Chaos Shuffle and find out what the
Yeah.
algorithm is, I guess, for
Yeah, I'm curious how
how
they
it
do
chooses
that.
the perks. Or if it is a pool. But I don't know why you would do a pool like daily. I do feel like a lot of perks that don't get run very often, like you're saying, the teamwork perks do get into play more, and like the vacation perks that everyone hates, and like a repressed alliance. Like, there's nothing wrong with repressed alliance. I got it 7 times in the first like 2 days. Like, what?
Especially in one night, like that one, like I said, that one night we played, I got that invocation perk like 3 or 4 times, and that seems excessive in like a 4-hour period.
And it also kind of kills the fun of the whole point of Chaos Shuffle, which
Kind of being
is
random.
random and being like, oh, I have this perk, this other perk, like I never run, or even getting like your favorite perks randomly. But if you're just getting the
That's,
same perks, then it's you might as well just go play the
Yeah,
regular game.
because I
yeah.
was secretly hoping for like spine chill or like some of the other perks that people don't really play, like the default perks and the general perks, and I didn't get any of those. I got all the other ones nobody likes at all.
I wanted to give me like the old meta perks.
Yes. I
You should
wanted
just
like unbreakable and like
Fine, chill,
borrow
resilience.
spine
time.
chill, resilience. Yeah. I wanted those because I don't run those much, and I mean they're fun.
Make us feel we're back in the old days of DVD.
Hmm.
They should do that. Let's just play the old meta.
They should have like a meta mode where you just play all meta
Oh
And
perks.
my
they should
gosh.
change
And then
and
we're
they should
all like,
change the
now we
perks
know why
back to
we
how they
hated it so
were.
much.
Right. And then it'd be
Oh
like,
god. Oh, like
oh,
can you imagine old Ruin? Tap,
Oh
tap,
my
tap.
gosh. Do y'all
oh
remember Old
God.
Ruin? I
I
remember Old
was
I
Ruin.
not playing that. I just know that you and our other friend Padfoot
I
used
was
to do
on
that.
The red skill checks.
yeah.
And then you guys would always like touch and let go. Like you said that was a thing.
Yes, because you didn't want to get the skill check. Because back in the day, all the killers ran ruin. So basically, you get on a gen, touch it, you know it's ruined. Almost everyone would go look for it, or you might commit to the gen. But the red skill checks, basically, if it was a normal skill check, you didn't progress on the gen. It stayed the same. You had to
Hmm.
hit the great skill checks to like I think progress at all on the gen, which is a pain in the butt. And of course, new players are probably not going to be able to hit great skill
Yeah.
checks
I
constantly.
still
So
can't, so
Yeah, it's hard.
so that was like every match was like there was ruin, and we had to go search for ruin and take out ruin before we could actually be on the gens. But yeah, it was the red skill check. The red skill check
Ooh.
is how I remember. Don't bring back that one, I guess. Or do
We'll
and
skip
be
that
like,
one.
then everyone can appreciate where we are now.
Oh my God. What if they did that? They had like a mode where it was like original DVD, like where there's no updates and changes that they've made, and you just have to learn how to play it.
Gosh, but I'm afraid if they ever did that, like, here, let's do a mode where we put perks in how they used to be, they would screw it up and put it into the main game on
Oh God.
accident. Be like,
I just
oops,
want to
old
hide
runs
and
in
seek
here for
mode.
real.
Let's
Yeah,
play hide and go seek.
That would be
Like
fun.
actual legit hide and go seek.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know if we're going to get any new modes this year with Five Nights at Freddy's coming out. I feel like all the focus has been on
Yeah.
that. And I can't remember if they've said they're going to do new game modes or not this year. That, and they've also been concentrating on their Operation Health thing, their initiative for that to improve the game. So I think we're not going to see a new game mode this year.
Well, then at least get me a rift when you do the modifiers.
Just
Like
give
That'd be
us
Chaos
great.
two
Shuffle.
V8s.
Right?
Just consistently every month for 2 weeks. Just give us 2v8.
Maybe
Okay.
just leave it in and then we can play it whenever we want.
That'd be nice. I think we're going to
That'd be
get to that eventually, but they're not ready to commit to 2v8 full time, I
True.
think.
Yeah.
Okay, that was Chaos Shuffle and other modifiers we branched off on. So let's talk about the new chapter. It was a paragraph chapter. We got the killer, the ghoul. This is Ken Kanagi from Tokyo Ghoul, which is a anime manga, and we've kind of talked about it before because it was kind of leaked. We're not super familiar with Tokyo Ghoul, but
It's an anime. That's
it
all I know.
is. I do know lore-wise they changed
Animanga.
him to be
Yeah.
villain. In
Villain.
the anime, he is hero character, but
Yes.
they changed his lore to be basically that he turned evil when he became a ghoul. So he is a new killer in the game. let's, I guess, go through what he does. I'll be honest, I haven't played him a whole lot because I feel really bad playing him because
Mm.
we're going to get to it, but he's very oppressive. So he
I was like,
has,
I've played against him.
yeah.
I've been worried by him so many times now.
Same.
So the killer power is he has this leap. It's very, very much like Spider-Man. You grab onto the environment and pull yourself around. You can make a lot of distance. On the second leap, you can grab attack survivors, and then they will be in deep wound. Sorry, deep wound, and they get like a mark, a Kanagi mark. Then you get into the enraged mode is the other part. So you got the leap, that's part one of the power. And then there's enraged mode. So off their patch notes, while enraged, the ghoul can perform up to 3 consecutive Kanagi leaps and can leap over vaults more quickly if they launch their Kanagi at a survivor. Enraged mode remains active while there are survivors afflicted with the Kanagi mark. Marked survivors will lose their mark if they are fully mended or if they are downed. The ghoul cannot grab attack mark survivors. And once no marked survivors remain, a countdown begins. When the cooldown depletes and rage mode ends. After perfectly timed grab attack, tapping the attack button when the attack icon is displayed will add extra time to the countdown. And the countdown is paused while carrying survivors. So that's the enraged mode. And I know Hens made a whole video over the tech of grabbing survivors and vaulting. So
Yeah. I would like to say, how dare you, Hen? How dare you? Because
boy.
I want to say the day after your little video, you want to know how many of these freaking ghouls did that tech? Every single one of them.
I think
So
isn't
how
it the hostage
dare
tech
you?
is what it's called?
Yes,
This is all his fault.
it is. I love you. But how dare you?
I know, right? We love you, but Jesus.
Okay. Before we get into like perks and stuff, let's talk about the power and what we hate about the power. And there has been a patch update where they have like kind of nerfed the ghoul. They have like decreased the range of the tentacle attack and enraged mode. Like they've messed with the numbers. I don't really want to go through like every little thing. Also, one of the big complaints was the window for grabbing survivors. Like you couldn't miss it, right? Like it was very easy as the ghoul to do the grab attack.
Essentially a guaranteed first hit.
Mm-hmm. Basically, when the ghoul came out, the ghoul was too easy to play. That was the big complaint.
Yeah.
It was you couldn't miss the grab attack because it was like your whole screen was like as long as you could like see a survivor, you could like attack them. And they have modified that. Where is it? It was reduce the aiming on survivor detection for the grab attack by 94%. So if they're reducing it by 94%, I think that tells you it was like the whole screen.
Yeah.
But
it was a problem and they realized, hey, we messed this up.
So yeah.
Essentially it was like, I am going to think that there might be a survivor all the way on the other side of the map. I don't even have to look at them. I'm just going to throw and see what it hit. Like survivor pitching.
Just boom.
Got you. I couldn't even see you.
That's funny.
So what are some thoughts on the ghoul? I'm just going to leave it on the power.
Well, here's my thought.
Because I know, yeah. Go.
Yeah. The ghoul has a perk called Hex Nothing But Misery, and that's how I feel when I play the ghoul. So, okay.
That's hilarious.
They nerfed the ghoul. I did not like that essentially before the nerf, it was a guaranteed first hit. I also didn't like how once the ghoul locked onto you, no matter if you moved around a wall, were in a corner, on the other side of a window, it didn't matter. Like the ghoul was hitting through things. I still don't like that it can hit like that over pallets, because at least let me get some distance because the ghoul has such high mobility. And I think the mobility is going to have to be something that could be nerfed at one point, because it's like it doesn't even matter if you get distance at all with this killer being able to Spider-Man all over the place. And I think one time I counted essentially like swings, the leaps, I guess. And I was like, oh my gosh, this ghoul just like 2 leaps just crossed the map completely. I've only gotten out once against the ghoul, and this ghoul was friendly and he was really kind to us
Oh yeah.
and let us farm. And that's the only ghoul that includes PTB and in regular matches that I have escaped. The majority of ghouls, I don't know if it's, I don't want to say it's all ghouls, okay? But for the most part, there's a lot of camping, there's a lot of hooking all in the same place, and there's a lot of like downing, not picking up to Mori everybody. I haven't had like a match where it was just fun to play against. Like, I haven't. I know supposedly it's fun to play the ghoul, and I can see that when people play, they like the mobility. They like the fact that like the survivors can't get away. I don't know how to counter the ghoul. Like, someone please tell me. People are like, well, you can counter him by doing this, this, and this. Well, I'm like, how do you actually get away
Yeah.
from the ghoul? I'm not a terribly awesome looper. Maybe that's something I need to work on.
We can learn
I don't
together
know.
because neither am I.
I'm a W player. Like I still think there's skill in that. Like, I can run you all the way to the other side of the map using resources, but it's just it's a lot. I don't know. I want to have fun when I play, and when I see the
Same.
ghoul, I'm like, oh man.
But I feel like I have the same issue is even though I'm not a great looper either, I still get by pretty well. And I feel like I have literally no chance when I play against the ghoul. But then I also feel that way about uh what's the other one that can lunge from Resident Evil? Oh my god.
Wesker?
Wesker.
Wesker?
Wes
I have trouble against him too. And
I
I
love
feel
him.
like I mean I love him, but like it's just the lunging thing always gets me. And I don't know if it's just I'm that bad or if it's just something with the lunge that I don't know how to counteract yet.
I would put
And
Ghoul more along with Blight. I feel like he works more
Yeah.
like Blight
okay,
with
maybe
the
that's what
jumping
it is.
around.
Less than like the lunging. I guess it just feels like it's a lunge because he's coming like right at me. But it could be that as well.
Because I like Wesker because there is like a 50-50 shot if he messes up
Mhm.
the dash attack.
That is true.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's why Wesker was so popular. I mean, he's still popular, but like after he initially came out, everyone was playing
Hmm.
Wesker. But
He's
I
he's
feel like
very balanced.
survivors didn't feel bad about going
Yeah,
against
no,
Wesker because
yeah.
he wasn't OP. I feel like Kanagi is more along the lines of Blight because Blight can be very oppressive too, especially when you go against a good Blight
Yeah. And it's
because it's the
hard.
same thing. They make distance really fast.
Yeah, it's hard to like counteract his ability, I think, for both. And I have the same issue as Queen is like, I don't know how to go against this.
Well, my thought that okay, this is
Someone will
the
just say, get better.
do
Well, I mean,
better,
get good. I mean,
get
get good.
good.
That's part of
Well,
it.
part of
Get good.
okay, my big issue with him and Queen mentioned this is that he can hit you over a pallet with the special like the grab attack,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
it
I don't
doesn't
like
make
that.
any sense to me. I don't think it's anywhere in the power that that's how that's supposed to operate. I've gotten hit like across a downed pallet, across objects, and it's like there's no animation to imply that I should be
Hmm.
getting hit over objects. It's not like the tentacles are like stretching out that far. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the ways the ghoul feels oppressive because like even if you throw the pallet, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Like why throw the
Yeah.
pallet because you're going to get grabbed attacked anyway. And I think that's why the ghoul feels so unfair to go against because you can't counter it. And then like it also defies logic. Like logically if I throw this pallet, I should be able to stop the ghoul because my understanding is that that grab attack is not like a nemesis tentacle attack, right? It's not like
Mhm.
reaching over and there's no animation to suggest it's reaching over. So I think they need to change that. And then it would feel a little bit better to go against the Ghoul because you need to have some sort of counterplay. And I know after the Ghoul came out, people were really running made for this because
Mhm.
you get a speed boost when you're in a deep wound status. I think you're like 100 and you're at like 103% speed. Like you're 3% faster. That's not a whole lot. And it doesn't help you. You're not like going to gain a bunch of distance on the Ghoul. You're almost better off running an exhaustion perk like Lithe or Sprint Burst, something to get a speed boost to make more distance. Those are just
Or
my thoughts.
running perks like I've been running where you try to hide.
Yeah,
So, where you're running perks like, Iron Will, Lucky Break,
you could
Off the
do, yeah,
Record,
you could do quick and
Bite the
quiet into a
Bullet, Quick and
locker.
Mhm.
Quiet, something where you get a little distance because Google's going to catch up so fast. You find a place to hide, they can't hear you. You might get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, quick and quiet's been very helpful.
Hmm.
Just in general, but also I've noticed against a ghoul, it has helped.
Also, my personal opinion, I think that people seem to really take to the Ghoul. Like I know a lot of content creators are like, I don't think that the Ghoul is like an S tier killer. Like it's not necessarily up there with like Blight or Nurse. It was just easy to learn.
Yeah.
People were playing the Ghoul very well. So and that was probably a lot of the fun of it. Maybe if you weren't like a really awesome killer, you were having matches where you're just slaughtering everybody because originally you kind of had the guaranteed first hit. You had such high mobility. You could bounce around all over the place. I would say even like I don't mind going against blights because even with blights, if you kind of time it right and you kind of duck, if you get by a pallet, you can kind of evade the rush a little bit.
Hmm.
This one, I feel like no matter what you do, it's just like turn around like, oh, there's the ghoul. Oh, there's the ghoul. Like I swear you were just on the other side of the map and now you're in my face. I don't know. I just haven't had a super good time playing against the ghoul. I'm glad that the playing has died down a little bit and
Oh,
we're getting different killers.
yeah. What was
But
the map we were playing on? Oh, is it Greenville Square? It's the one with the movie theater.
Yeah, Grimville.
yeah.
And it was like we had the ghoul, and I was all the way in the back of the statue, and he just like zoomed across that map. I was
Mhm.
like, "Hello, where did you come from?"
Yeah, some of the maps
Oh,
are pretty small, so it's like easy to make distance. Indoor maps are probably a bit harder.
And for some reason, I feel like that's big map, and it's not. But I'm just like, what is happening?
well, that map in general, there's not a lot of open space either. So
Well, yeah, there's a
that
bunch of
map,
crap in the
you
way.
have you have so much for the ghoul to reach out and like cling to. So that's where you get the mobility. Yeah, remember when we loaded in, you hadn't gone against school yet, and we were doing call outs, and Mocking
There
was
was a
like, "We
lot
can
of
go over at the
groans.
movie theater," and I told uh Morbid, I was like, "Let's move away from the statue, Jen. He's gonna come," and she's like, "No, we're fine." And then he
Yeah, and
was
then boom, there he
yeah,
was.
2 seconds. I was like, "He moves really fast. Okay, have fun running the killer."
So like, here's a new killer, Morbid. Here you go. Have fun.
I know.
Try to
Trial
take
by
him,
fire.
opposite side of mid map so I can do the middle gen so we don't three gen. Oh, you're down. I'll come get you.
It was great. I was like, what happened?
She was like, I don't know what I'm doing. How do you keep behind me so fast? How do you get in front of me? That's the other thing is timing those jumps. All of a sudden you're running, you turn the corner, and he, like backflipped over Shaq and is now in front of you. Like,
Uh,
oh, okay, there you are.
Oh, I will say, I did not foresee that Tokyo Ghoul would be the the easy killer chapter. I really thought if we were going to have this issue with the killer being too easy to play, it would have been FNAF because
mm,
all we keep
Mhm.
hearing about I feel like his FNAF is coming, or there's going to be all these new players coming in to DVD because of the FNAF. And really, I expected if we were going to get like an easy to understand killer, an easy to play killer, it would be FNAF. I don't know why we got it with Tokyo Ghoul. This is not to like hate on Tokyo Ghoul at all, but I'm just kind of surprised like that we're having
Yeah.
this issue with this chapter.
You know what I think it is? I think this is practice for that chapter.
No. This is
do.
giving me
I think,
vibes of the night in Skull Merchant when we had the 3 gen meta.
yeah,
Like we're just
when you
gonna
had
try
the back to
this and
back.
then we're gonna do it again.
I think I mean, there's very good following for Tokyo Ghoul in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I do think it brought people in. I honestly think this was a precursor test to the FNAF chapter to see if
Yeah.
we have a killer like this, if we market it certain ways, what will happen. I think it was all on purpose. I think they did realize with some of the nerfs, like, okay, we did a little too much. Um,
Oopsies.
because, it's really bad when you have your killer main saying like, "Oh, he's super fun to play, but I feel bad playing him." Like,
I know, that's
who
why I
says
haven't played
that?
True.
me. I haven't played it. I feel
Yeah,
bad. Like
I mean, it is bad when
because I
somebody's
hate
like, I don't want to play him because I feel guilty annihilating people.
well, because we keep going against him and like it sucks. And I really just don't want to bring more of that to the game. And that and
Exactly.
when the chapter initially came out, like everyone was playing it and I was like,
oh, it was
I'll
horrible.
just
It was
I'll just play
miserable.
some Trapper or some Huntress. Like we'll spice it up and surprise the survivors with a different killer.
I was even like, "Oh my God, we got a Michael Me. I love this."
Oh my god, no. We have had two
We were
tombstones. Back
we
to
were so
back
Yeah,
excited though.
tombstone.
that was better
No.
than that. We got an alien. I was like, at least I can see your tail hit me over the pallet.
This is
Hmm.
And that's the
true.
other thing, visual wise, with the ghoul, when he lashes out the tentacles and all of a sudden you get grabbed, you don't see them like wrap around you, cling
Like
to you. So it feels really awkward visually. You're like, how did I get hit?
yeah,
It doesn't make sense.
I really don't like the animation for the grab attack at all.
Yeah,
On both ends. There's because it feels a little disconnected because it's not like you said the tentacles
yeah,
don't seem to actually touch the survivor.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's confusing also with the pallets and stuff. Like I honestly don't know. Is the ghoul supposed to be able to hit you over a pallet? I want to say no based on the animation, but
It doesn't feel right.
it
Like it
doesn't feel right.
feels
If that's
very
supposed to
restricted.
be the intent that the ghoul can hit you over objects and pallets,
Well, then
then
visually let us
then
see
you need
it.
to do it visually because and maybe I need to read up more on the power and all of that and see it's just yeah, I'm not a fan of the grab attack animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
Like with the
trying
alien, at least you can see the tail. With what's his name? Oh my gosh, I can't- Resident Evil. Here's my
Wesker
tentacle.
Nemi
Nimi. With
Nemi
Nimi, you can
Princess.
see the tentacle actually hit you. It all
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. I think that's one of my big issues is there were times when I was like, I don't see how I got hit. I don't, it doesn't make sense for me. And then you're like, as a survivor, you're like, what happened? Like, if I actually saw it, I think it would connect in my brain. And then it also wouldn't feel as, kind of like you said, as oppressive or
Mm-hmm.
as like
Hmm.
miserable because I could actually see myself getting hit. And this might also help, like, then as survivors, we might understand and learn a little better too if we were seeing the hits. Because I would say when we play a lot of times, we were playing matches earlier and Mocking was like, oh, that's a good hit. Oh, they got me there. That was a nice hit. I like to play games like that, even if I go down where I'm like, oh, okay, like you really mind game me. That was actually a really solid hit. For
Yeah.
the
Like,
ghouls hit, I can't see any of them.
hmm yeah, like if
Like,
I'm being chased and all of a sudden you like outmaneuver me, like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. But
yeah,
otherwise, it's like, what?
let me see when so I can learn behavior, so I can understand like, oh, I did this and I did this and you know, they were in bloodlust or whatever, and I turn here and oh, I can see why I got hit. Like I should have gone this way or I should have done this. Or maybe if I had this perk, it would be a little bit different. I don't feel like I'm learning anything when I go in school other than let's just hope you don't get in chase first and then just
Hmm.
panic.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Yeah, I just read through the power, and there's nothing about hitting over
Palette.
pallets. There, all it talks about is the vaulting, which I know they nerfed that too. That was a big thing, was the vault speed over the pallet, or pallet vaults, window vaults was like super fast. I
Hmm.
know they've nerfed that a bit. I don't really know if it's any feels any better. Ghouls are still using the hostage tech that hens, shame on you for bringing attention
Hmm.
to. Because we did go get the ghoul that did it. I was like, oh, they're doing
I was like,
hens' tech.
I know. She was like,
watched.
he's doing the hens attack. And I was like, damn you, hens. And
I
that's
was
the
like,
thing, too.
somebody
All of you
watched the
content
video.
creators, you need to stop it. Every one of these videos,
100%.
even in hens videos, oh man, like the ghoul, they need to, tweak them. They need to nerf them a little bit. But let me show you this really cool tech, how to destroy everybody. But I do think he needs to be nerfed. Stop that.
I think he
Just
put out
like,
another
stop that.
video too. I haven't watched it yet on the
like if you
tech.
figure that out while you're playing, cool. Use that
He
in
did.
your game mode. Well, I mean, like by yourself. Don't tell everyone.
No, the problem is he figured out live when he was playing.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know it was live.
Well,
I
I
thought he.
mean,
See?
that's fine, but then he making YouTube content over it. Like, don't make a
All of
separate
you.
video.
I just think it's so funny. The ghoul needs to be nerfed. The next 3 videos, how to be the scariest ghoul there is. Why?
Why don't you give us a video on how to survive against the ghoul hens?
Yeah,
Like, I'm
you know
waiting for
what?
that
Yeah.
video.
I haven't seen one video. If anyone knows of a video where someone's like, here's how you can counter the ghoul, and that's how you know maybe a killer might be a little too much. If no one has a solid video yet about how to counter. Like
Agreed.
there's videos on how to counter pretty much every killer. Your legions, your aliens, your tips and tricks on how to do it. So far the videos I've come across, they haven't really been they're all like just run.
Run and
Yeah,
die.
Yeah.
yeah, or
So
like
my
I
advice
know
is to rage quit.
I know Spooky did one where he used certain perks and he was trying to get ghouls, but then Spooky, we love you too, Spooky, but he was like, and I don't loot very well. Screw
Mm,
you.
yes, you do.
I was like, the amount of videos you've been in where, you stop to make pancakes on a stove against, like a hillbilly and you still, got around them, or you drop your items, you like to litter. That's still one of my
He
favorite
does.
videos. Litter.
He's a
Um,
litterer.
yeah. And you loop very well. And I can see how the build helps strong loopers. Like a lot of people doing aura reading builds for the ghoul, which I get. But I also think you have to know you have this skill where you can loop well. So I'm also gonna say Spooky, you didn't get out any of the matches, but you were the reason Jins got done. I would also like to survive.
So
That's my rant. Thank you for coming to my TED
I
Talk.
googled on YouTube. There's only one video I see that's the survivor's guide to the ghoul.
Oh my
But on
god.
the thumbnail, it's like made for this again. So I'm like, that's probably going to be the perk load is like made for this.
We're just all gonna die.
I'm trying to see what perks are running, but I
Is there
mean,
no
but
chatter? Are we just
there's tons of videos like how to play the ghoul and how to be OP at the ghoul and how to dominate as the ghoul, but nothing on the
how to ruin
survivor.
lives?
Yeah, and
Nothing
all
on
the
the
videos to
survivor
how to
side.
be OP at the ghoul are okay. Double click on your Dead by Daylight icon, press space to load in the game, select the ghoul. You're OP.
Yeah, because like what's hard is a lot of ghouls are running like gen perks. I feel like you can't get any gens in if they run gen like scourge hooks, surge, overcharge, like all of that, all the gen regression perks. Like you can't get anything done because of the mobility. Like they could just come check on the gen again in like 2 seconds. And especially with some of the maps being super
Yep.
small,
Trying to think of
like
the one map we loaded in on. We realized it was the ghoul, and you and I basically are like, well, let's just hop on a gen and pull this off because what map is it? Is it one of the wreckers maps where it has the wooden 2-story building, and it typically has like a hill on one side, and there is the gym that's in the back of the building on the porch. Or which map
Is
I'm talking about?
Are you talking about Garden of Joy?
No, it's
No.
not Garden of Joy. It's where it has the porch gym on
is
the
that
little
the
2-story building.
Oh,
corn gen?
What gym?
The
talking
one with the
about Thompson
cornfield.
House?
No, it's not. It's not a corn map. It's one of the darker
Oh,
maps.
okay.
It's
Okay.
got the same coloring as
Is it
like the
Macmillan map?
Wreckers
I apologize
or
that that is my knowledge of
oh
maps. Is
man.
is it
Blood
the corn
Lodge?
one?
Blood Lodge? Blood Lodge? The one with it on the buildings in the
Oh no,
middle?
I think you're right. I
No.
think it is a wrecker map. It's the variant that has the 2-story like shacky thing with the fire in the middle, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't remember what
It doesn't
variant it
have
is.
necessarily like all the trees and stuff.
Yeah, it's got all the stacks of cars and stuff. I just can't remember the variation.
The one at the gas station? No.
I don't
No.
think it has the gas
We're gonna
station.
go through all the maps, y'all. We're gonna
I know.
figure.
Hold on, I'm looking them up.
I honestly don't know which one you're talking about. Like a
Okay,
porch.
okay,
So
so it's
it's
the map
Auto
that
Haven.
we played with the Skull Merchant that actually let us out.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, let's see. Let's see.
That was
Is
Blood
it?
Lodge.
I think
That
you're
is
right.
Blood
It's Blood
Lodge?
That was
Lodge.
Blood
Yes, it
Lodge.
is.
Okay, I'm not
Okay.
crazy. Yeah, where the
Okay,
building,
sorry.
the
You're
small
right. I
building in the
forgot.
middle, the gens on the porch,
Yeah,
and
but
you can
it's
drive.
not necessarily always in
Well,
like the middle.
it's not
Sometimes
middle,
it's
it's
off to
not
the side. But
centered, but
yeah,
it's kind of, it's never like in the front or the back of the map. It's kind of off centered,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you have
Okay,
that
so it is
building, you have the
Blood Lodge.
buses and shack.
Yeah,
That's
that one with the ghoul. I mean, just give up because we all know that there is the 4 gen around the building. So you'll have the one on the porch. You'll typically have one behind the building, one on the opposite side of the building, one by a hill. I mean, just give up. Like the
yes.
mobility, like even if everyone's like, we're gonna go and try to pressure these gens, the mobility is just insane.
See, this is why I'm all for giving survivors, well, all players, like so many DC like DCs a
Yeah.
day
Yeah,
for
you
this
should
crap.
have.
Like Ghoul on this map.
Yeah.
Can I just use one of my disconnections today? Like,
Yeah. Well, we loaded in, and that's when we were both of us kind of looked at each other and we're like, well,
should we get
We all were
presents?
gonna die.
I know. Fine. No one's touched a gen. We're debating if we're gonna give presents.
That's always like our go-to recently. It's like, do you want to just give them something and see what happens?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we're like, we just loaded in.
I know. Well, okay, so with the Blood Moon event, I've been giving killers the gas cans and like making peace. That's how we did the Skull Merchant one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There was just me and Queen, and I was like, well, we're
Oh,
not doing like 3 gens, so I'm just gonna be cute and like put out all these
it,
gas cans for
it was a
you.
good skull merchant. She did use the basically 3 gen. She blocked off that whole building and
But
area. We did end up breaking it, but
didn't
oh
we have
man,
survivors
good.
give up though in that match?
No, they were killed.
No.
They're
Okay,
actually
I can't
playing very
remember.
well. They were trying to break like that
That
little
is
4 gen
true.
actively. And I think the only thing that stopped her from killing me was you giving her the cans. And then I confessed my love for her at the end. But you know,
It is
she
your
is my
main.
main. She's my
She's your
main.
main.
Um, so no, she wasn't she a P100?
Yeah.
I believe
She
so, yes.
She was really
she
sweet
was
in the in-game
she was sweet.
chat.
She was really good. See, I wouldn't even care getting killed by her 'cause she was genuinely she was using her drones in chase, like you know, Skull Merchant is kind of built to be being really mindful of where gens were on the map, breaking chase when it was getting too much. Like she was just playing everything just really well. So, but yeah, you did befriend her, and then you and I were able to get out. That was actually a pretty fun match. It was a little stressful there in the beginning, but
Mm-hmm.
I think she just ended up liking you.
Perks. So we want to talk about the perks.
Now I can. I think I mentioned one already.
Mhm.
Our new theme, nothing but misery.
Yeah, nothing
Yeah.
but misery.
I will just say the perks are nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
We'll run
Exciting.
through them, but like I'm not seeing videos on the perks. Like it's all about the ghoul And so we do have a hex, nothing but misery. So this is after you damage survivors 8 times with basic attacks, a dull totem becomes a hex totem, cursing all survivors. And when you damage a survivor with a basic attack, they gain a 5% hindered, and depending on what you have it leveled up to, all the way is 15 seconds. And this lasts until the hex totem is cleansed. So it basically gives you hindered on survivors after 8 attacks, basic attacks, so not special ability attacks. And then we have Forever Entwined. When a survivor takes damage, gain 1 token up to 8. For each token you pick up, drop, and hook survivors 4% faster. So I did see people kind of trying this out with, I believe it's Fire Up. I think it's Fire Up, the Freddy perk, where as gens pop, you do things, as killer, you do things faster, such as picking up, dropping, breaking pallets. Then the last perk is None Are Free. When you hook a survivor for the first time, you gain 1 token up to 4. When all generators are complete for each token, all windows and upright pallets are blocked for everyone for 16 seconds. So those are the perks. I don't know. Y'all have any thoughts on any of these?
Yeah, no ghoul is running any of those.
No.
No.
Unless you're
I
doing
think
a
they
good
just
death.
needed. Yeah, I was like, they needed perks for the ghoul, and they were just like, here are these. But yeah, nobody
It
runs
doesn't
them
matter.
as part of their
There's been a lot of perks
thing.
ghouls I've been seeing that have no perks.
Oh, really?
They're like, I'm
Dang.
just gonna Spider-Man and just kill you all. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you need perks with Ghoul.
No.
As the only one that plays killer, like, I'm not adding any of these
Yeah.
to any of my killers. Like, I mean, I guess they're not the worst perks, but they're not. I don't feel like they're anything to write home about. Like,
Yeah, I feel like they're very situational.
I mean, I think it depends. I don't know. Like the hex one is a hex, but basically you're just hindering survivors. And there's also, I didn't put it on the list to talk about, but they're also going to stop stacking the hindered effects, the haste and hinder effects they announced.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're going to get any value out of this perk because you can't pair it with any other hindered abilities. Some killers have hindered effects like Nemesis. When you get hit with the tentacle, you're hindered. Those are not going to stack with the perks, is what I believe. I don't know there's much value out of it, and it's a hex. Hexes are a gamble, and I don't feel like this is super strong. It's not strong enough for me to want to use it.
Because you have to get 8 hit in 8. This is 8 times, right? That's a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
8
hits.
times to get the totem up. It's a lot, and if this was on the level of like Devour Hope, then okay. But this only gets you a 5% hindered. And I mean, 15 seconds is a long time, and it can make the difference it makes chase
Especially
easier
if
for a
you're
killer.
lower killer. But I think it's getting in the 8 hits and with
Yeah.
basic attacks.
I mean, if you ran this with a strong killer like Blight, you would definitely down people. But I mean, a good Blight can down people anyways. I'm trying to think what to say about any of these perks. I mean, the picking up and dropping and hooking,
That
I
was
guess, is
the one I was going to
to
mention.
try to counter like flashlights and stuff, is my thought.
Yeah, that was the only thing. Is I feel like that'd be the only one that might get some use because, like you said, it counters some things, but I don't know if it would be something people would put in the meta like rotation.
Well, I mean, why run this when you can run Lightborn?
Yeah, that's true. There are perks that are better than this one for that specific purpose.
And you don't
like
have to gain tokens with Lightborn. It just is.
Yeah, it
right?
just works. Yeah.
None are free, maybe an in-game build, but then I feel like there's better in-game builds.
Yeah, I don't really get the None Are Free one. Like, I get what it does, but like, this only really helps you if you're in chase when the last gen's complete and you can block off a survivor.
Block people in, yeah.
But it's only for 16 seconds. Like, it's not for a long time. Like 16 seconds is nothing, really.
I mean, that's a really good chase if someone can keep
I
that
mean, you
up.
might get down one survivor, but then it doesn't help you with anything else. There are other in-game perks like No Way Out, Blood Warden, Noed for in this case. Like you're better off running Noed than
Mm-hmm.
this perk.
Which I feel has seen a resurgence of that for sure.
Oh yeah, there has. There definitely has. Oh, I think a lot of the
General.
hex perks are coming back. Yeah, especially with the blood. I didn't put Blood Moon event on here. Do we want
Well, I
to
mean, we're
talk?
gonna talk about it anyways.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
Uh,
figured.
yeah, I didn't
I
put it
We
on the
can
forgot.
outline.
transition to the Blood Moon event.
Yeah, because the thing with the Blood Moon event is that perks that impact gens don't work on the blood generators. So that's what that kind of made me think about it. But yeah, we can talk about Blood Moon. It's got, as we're recording right now, we're in the last week of Blood Moon. And I will say cosmetics, especially the Victoria cosmetic, is amazing. The
Mm-hmm.
Survivor cosmetics are good. Kate's very skimpy shirt.
Yeah, it's cute. It's very
It is cute, but my husband saw me playing this game. He's like, she's naked. Like, because in the
Where's
back, there's
No,
like
she's
hardly
not.
anything. And that's what you're looking
where's her
at.
outfit?
Like, where's your
She
shirt?
looks just fine.
And then Hattie has a shirt and Adam has a shirt. So this Blood Moon event, they incorporated blood generators. So survivors have to go to gas pumps and fill it up with blood and then take it to blood generators. Now there's a mix of generators on the map. There's regular gens and blood gens. It's about 3, I guess, gas cans per gen to power it. So there's no skill checks or anything. You're just filling it up. Killers can, if you leave a gas can on the ground, killers can smash them. They can kick the blood gens. And really, the killer side of this event sucks. I'm just going to say there's really not anything for killers to do. It's all on the survivor side with the gas cans and the blood gens. So that's pretty much what the event is. Unless I missed
Yeah,
something.
so
It's pretty much
no, the blood
the gist.
generators, yeah, they replace 4 out of the 7 gens, so you'll have 4 blood generators. The funny thing is, so the last Blood Moon event had like the blood circles, and you could, kind of power up these blood circles, and things happened with the circles for Survivor and Killer. And I guess people were like, we want it to be more like regular gameplay. So, behavior was like, bet we're just going to have blood generators. But because we have blood generators, Killers, you can't use any of your generator perks,
Mm-hmm.
or Survivors, you can't use any perks really. Like there was no point of being any perks that assisted with gens because they didn't work on the blood gen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for Survivors, it you still had you still had to do gens. You just had to find a pump and walk over and put the blood in there. If you were carrying the actual like little I don't know, tank or whatever for the blood can for the blood generators, if you're running it left like extra blood on the ground, you'd lose blood out of the can when you're running. So it did suck many a time when we were trying to do a gen, and the gym was literally like 99.999 because we ran to it and we lost a little bit of blood and we couldn't pop it. But
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see, other than having a rift, which we did get a sexy Daddy Vittorio outfit.
Which
There was
we're
no
all here for.
difference. Yeah, there was no difference in gameplay for killers. There was like really nothing new for them other than they have blood generators and you really couldn't use any of your gen slowdown perks. So because of that, there was like a major increase in hex builds or a lot of downing and just telling people out.
Also,
Like,
aura
I don't
reading
know.
builds. I think it
A
was
lot
hex
of
and
aura
aura
reading.
reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I ended up switching back to um oh my god, my
We all
brain
put
just
on
been
distortion.
distortion.
Like,
Yes, I hadn't been running it in a while, and I ended up putting it back on because it was getting ridiculous
yeah. And Maki
for
was
the
running
event.
map.
I've never taken it
So we
off.
could,
Okay, let's just be
yeah.
clear. It's
Yeah,
never
now it's
leaving my
become
build.
now it's become like my
I had
build.
taken it off because I was doing like a get hit, run and hide build, and I was
Yeah,
like, I
now
better put this back on because ore reading's crazy, and then we were running maps to find the hexes,
Yeah, I'm like, I
and
yeah,
don't
I
know
was
if I
trying
need
not
to run small game. What do I need to do? So like
yeah.
because
go
I was
through
trying
this.
not to use it as much, and then it's not as good as it used to be. So yeah, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like take it out and try some new stuff, and then I was like, it's going back.
I mean, in the end, I think I was just like, I was powering through. I was having Mocking like help me just get through the rift, and I'm like, I hate this so much.
I mean, I think
I didn't have fun.
I don't know. Do y'all think it's better this year than last year though? With the blood circles?
Well, see, it's a little different because with the blood circles, they gave us back perks that they have since buffed back up. So, like the
Yeah.
blood circles, you had like your Iron Will, but they gave Iron Will back. The blood circles, I thought a lot of it was a little too much setup, and I can see from the killer perspective, there was just a lot to do. This one, I mean, is still you got to just play as killer, but maybe I mean the killers obviously adapted and overcame because they couldn't necessarily run the gen regression perks.
Yeah.
But there really was nothing special on their end that they did mechanically.
No, there's nothing on the killer side. It's
I
just
mean,
you
there's
kick
nothing.
it.
We
You
just played
kick the
regular.
blood
Yeah.
gen, which you kick regular gens anyway. So yeah, and there was no interaction with the killer and the gas pumps at all. To like, maybe it would have been interesting if like the killer could disable the gas pump or drain it,
Ooh.
like
Oh,
damage
that'd be
it.
cool.
Maybe damage it and it starts like leaking blood because so each of the gas pumps only hold so much blood. So survivors are not getting like an unlimited amount of blood. Now it's typically enough to do the gen,
Hmm.
but you can run out of blood. So maybe if
Yeah.
they had a way that killers
It has to
could,
rebuild.
damage the gas pump and then survivors have to repair it. And then, so that would be a little more interaction, maybe a little more strategy, but even with that, I still don't know if it'd be great on the killer side. It's kind of boring on the killer side. I like the idea and the aesthetic of the gas pumps, and the blood gens. Like it's a cool concept, but I don't know if they went far enough with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure about execution because a lot of times you would have like sometimes the pumps would be so far away from the
But then
bludgeons. I'm
sometimes
like,
they're
this
super
makes
close
no
though.
sense. And then sometimes we were like right next to them. I was like, this is kind of ridiculous, like the RNG for
Yeah, there
this.
was definitely one where I was able to like fill it up, walk like a foot, and then put it in there and
Yeah,
then
I
go
was like
back.
right
And
next to it.
yeah, it was a little ridiculous, but I was like, okay.
But then there's some where it's like, where's the gin? It's like
I know. Then
across
I'm
the
wandering
map.
around with my blood can, and I'm like,
Yeah,
hello,
you're on the
where's the
swap
gen?
map. Like the pump was like all the way in a corner behind building, and all the bludgeons were like over by dock. And I'm like, I'm not gonna make it there with any blood if I run. And that's the other thing. It was a lot of people with the bludgeons. There was like no sense of urgency, like normal gens. You just hop on and start bludgeons, and you have to do bludgeons regardless because of just how many there are.
Yeah,
Bludgeons, you would have people who would go pump, and they literally would just spend their time walking all the way across the map to have
See,
a full blood can.
see, I ran with the can because
I did too.
Yeah.
well, because okay, if you're not running too far, it really doesn't make a difference because it's still
Yeah.
gonna be like 3 cans or whatever to do it, and you have access. Like the if you're not running super far, I think the math works out of you can do it. That and you don't lose a whole lot when you run. Like really. Like you lose a little bit, but you could run across the map and still have like 3/4 of a can of blood. Like it's not like
Yeah,
making a lot.
I never noticed like if I ran with it that like it depleted, like you said, a ton. So I was just like, I'm gonna run with it. It's fine.
Well,
Yeah,
that was part of the reason. Just run and fill it
fill it
up. But
up and run
also,
back.
I felt like as a survivor too, not only was I now trying to monitor and make sure we didn't 3 gen, but there were plenty of times where the pumps in one area were depleted. We had to wait for them to fill back up. Then you did have people going to a pump on the other side of the map and then walking. Or just not hopping on like a regular gen. So I'm like, oh great. So I also have to make sure we don't, I don't know what to call it, three pump. Like
You're like, great.
okay, every pump on this side of
Yes,
the
we don't
map
want
is
to.
depleted.
We don't
I
want to three pump
we
ourselves.
just three pumped ourselves.
That's hilarious.
It
Oh
was just too
my.
much for my little brain. Like when we realized that, okay, so in case you don't know, unless the rift stuff is bludgeon specific, you can just click the rift for the blood moon event and just go play regular matches.
Yeah, if it's like
Is what we
complete three
started doing.
gens,
Yes.
get
Yeah.
emblems and all that stuff, you can do that in the
Yeah.
regular
You can do that in the
game.
regular. You don't have to play the blood moon. We were only hopping back when it was like blood gen requirements or fill up 3 cans, um, and stuff like that. So we started playing regular matches because it did just start to get
Yes.
very repetitive.
I was so excited. I was like, yes, we could do it.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm over the hexes, over the aura reading, over just we didn't have a lot of matches, very few matches that were actually like super fun, at least for us. But also, please just lower my MMR if MMR is a thing. Like I don't play as well as you think I do.
I know.
I also with this whole you're gonna get so many blood points.
I think I got more blood points from the ones they sent us.
Well, even like the blood point offering, it's very specific that it was only for like the I think like the blood generators and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was
I
for blood
think
moon
so.
related like interactions.
Related
So
things.
like on
So
killer side it'd be like, kicking the gens and really I guess that's all and kicking cans.
that was like it.
But like
So
gosh, the can thing kind
Which
of annoys me because
which explains
survivors
a lot.
are not dropping the cans because if
yeah,
you drop the can it starts leaking and it loses blood.
yeah,
Hmm.
Which I guess is fine because you don't want survivors to be like stockpiling cans somewhere and then filling up gens. But yeah, it was just for like event related activities. And there is like a bonus now because as a community we've reached like a milestone. So we are getting, is it 500% more blood points? I gotta check. Yeah, the offering sucks. It's just my opinion. It's a terrible offering. Run escape cake. Run, your selfish cakes or bloody party streamers if you're with your friends, but if you want more blood points.
tiramisus. We started leaving like blood cans for killers because I'm like, how are you getting blood points
You're
from
not.
these offerings?
I
Like you're
haven't
not.
I haven't even done the killer rift for this last part of Blood Moon. And I don't need to because I already bought everything out of the store. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to do both sides to buy everything.
I've completed the rift in general, and I still have like 400 extra tokens.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know how many extra I
Yeah.
have.
I mean, it's definitely a change from the one year where you couldn't get everything unless you also played killer. But I don't know if you guys realize that's a lot of extra tokens. How can I cash those in?
You don't.
You're like, can I buy something?
I need
Anything.
extra.
Just like, can I like trade in these eyeball offerings for something else, please?
Ooh, that
I'm
would
gonna
be
have so
cool.
many offerings I'm not gonna be able to use. Can I, exchange the token for I don't know, free escapes?
That a key
Right? Like,
magically shows up in the end game for me, like hatch.
Exchange them so like I don't go against the ghoul and get a token every time. I can't have
you're like,
Guarantee me killer
here's
prevent.
200. I'd like to escape. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Put it in a little token slot machine.
That'd be adorable.
Okay, any other
I
thoughts on the blood moon?
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I guess it's
make
better than
it, yeah.
last year because I felt like with the circles last year, I didn't understand it at first, like how to
Mm.
Well,
activate it and all that.
no
It
one
wasn't
really did.
clear. So I guess this one it's clear gameplay.
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of cool that they kind of tie it into like Auto Haven kind of aesthetic. But I did see
Yeah.
someone on Twitter post about that. The gas pump looks very similar to the ones in Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. So
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if that's on purpose or not. I know
I'd have to
we
look
have
that up.
Bubba, so it's not like exactly, I guess, copying. I don't know. I mean, there's just probably not any way to copyright like a gas pump, right? But
Yeah.
and we do have Leatherface, but someone pointed it out like they're very similar. So
You know what I would almost wish for this one is to have it kind of like a hybrid. Like I don't think the, blood gens and the pumps are bad. I just feel bad that killers lost so many perks and we also lost gym perks. Maybe
Hmm.
something like this, it should be like kind of a combination of 2v8 where instead of having perks, maybe you have classes.
that or no
Um
perks. Just
That
have
would
or
no
be
perks.
or
interesting.
no perks.
Do a no perk mode.
Yeah.
Like, because
Because
really, if the gen perks don't work on either side, just
Mhm.
do no, like, your goal is just to do the blood gens. And maybe you only have blood gens, like, you don't have regular gens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that would be a lot more interesting because then like it would the killer was able to damage the pump.
Mm.
I think I would find that a lot more interesting. I don't know why. The whole time I was playing, I feel like perks are just kind of ruining for everybody. Like I don't
Well,
know.
it's because you're forced to play certain perks now because,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize that when I initially played Blood Moon. I ran like a build where, oh, nowhere to hide and unforeseen, where you leave your terror radius on the gen. Well, it doesn't
Hmm.
work on the blood gen. So, like, what's the point of like running this build? And I like that build because it's kind of fun to like be stealthy and kind of trick the survivors into thinking I'm there. But like if it only works on the regular gens and there's only a few on the map, it doesn't make any sense. So I feel like killers were kind of forced to play a certain way or run certain perks because otherwise, like, why would you run, perks that don't give you an advantage in any way?
It did at least it did say it. I don't know if I mean because like they have this thing where they're like everything you need to know, and it's not always all in one place. But at least it did say it on their website. I'm not sure if it actually said it in the game. I don't think I read through everything in the game, but it did say, as blood generators are entirely new addition, please note that killer powers, add-ons, perks, and items do not interact with them. We made this decision to keep design space open, allowing us to experiment with new ways to interact with blood generators in the future. It's also an opportunity to explore new loadouts and play styles. So dust off some of those perks you've been sleeping on and get cooking. But
But
everyone started kind of like running the same build.
yeah, it's Hex, Thrill of the Hunt, Devour
Hmm.
Hope,
Yeah.
Undying, and throw in another hex perk in there. Like it's all hex perks, or it's all aura reading perks,
Yeah.
right? Barbecue, lethal,
Mhm.
bitter murmur, like whatever. It kind of made it boring though,
Yeah.
because killers are kind of locked into playing in these couple different play styles. It does get boring, and you kind of know what to expect too, a survivor.
Mhm.
So it's like I know I need to bring distortion, but I may need to also think about bringing like totem perk, like small
Mhm.
game, or running a map to find totems because more than likely we're going to be going against hexes.
Yeah. We
And
started booting them too.
yeah, so they need to bring
We were
boons
like,
or
whoa,
maps. We
yeah.
got to be able to find them.
I would agree. Like if you're gonna neutralize so many like powers, perks, and add-ons, just do straight blood gens, have it to where the killer can also interact with the pumps. To do essential that would be like a slowdown, right? As
Hmm.
well. Because as a survivor, we could, once the blood gen was kicked, if we didn't have a blood can, we could stop the leak. So that could be the same thing on the pumps and just have it be like no perks. And that's kind of what it is. I mean, you
Okay.
could also
Oh,
incorporate like, the New Year's events where you have like maybe there's fun mechanics you can incorporate with, how like we had the where you could like block the windows or turn off the
Snowman.
pallets or something like that. But
I just want to be a snow person.
that's winter stuff. You know
Oh,
it's
sorry.
April.
I got excited.
we're not to Christmas yet.
I know. We got a long way to go. Look,
I
Hobby Lobby
know.
hasn't started putting out Christmas decorations yet. Calm down.
Yeah, it's not
That's not
Christmas
until
time yet.
June.
Yeah,
They
June,
do have
July.
4th of July, though.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, I know Dollar Tree does. I walked in there and I was like, 4th of July,
Right?
April.
You're like, it's April. What is happening?
I
Oh
came
man.
here for the Easter stuff and it's all gone and we're in 4th of July.
Nope, we plan for the next holiday, which
Okay, are we good with Blood Moon?
Yes, I think
see.
I ranted enough. I'm good.
Okay, let's rant about something else.
Yay.
Oh,
Um,
I'm ready for this one. Let's go.
the surrender option.
Yes.
Okay, so Queen and I especially have been noticing some issues with the new surrender option. So DVD recently put in an abandon or surrender option. So if all survivors are down, you can abandon the match. Basically, you don't have to sit through being slugged or on the hook if everyone is downed. For the killer side, they can abandon if all the survivors are bots or if a gen hasn't been done in 10 minutes. And so
So
Queen and
let's talk
I,
about the wording. Let's talk about the wording real quick.
okay,
So
Hold on, English
everyone
major.
in their videos, yes, because it says, and I'm trying to find it right now, but I don't know if I
oh, I
can.
know what you're referring to now.
But
Okay.
originally it said a survivor can abandon after 10 minutes after the last generator has been popped. The last generator. So on a lot of videos I saw, including Scott's, when it originally came out, I don't know if he's redacted or changed or anything like that. A
Mhm.
lot of content creators were like, well, that makes sense because like once the last generator pops, like why do you want to be in in-game for 10 minutes? I'm like, you're not. Once someone opens the door, you're not in game. It really does mean like people were thinking like the last generator that would pop and like in game would start. No, it
Mhm.
just means that, say you're in a match and you have one gen pop and then a gen hasn't popped for 10 minutes and you still have 4 gens, the killer can abandon.
And everyone and all the survivors are dead. So it's a loss
And all
for
the
survivors.
survivors are dead. It's a loss for us.
So, like, how we initially found out about this was Queen and I were playing against, it was a Houndmaster, I believe.
Yes.
And, like, I think we popped the gen, but then, like, after that, she was getting momentum. So then it was a lot of, people being hooked and then unhooking and chase. And we had gens started. So it wasn't like we weren't
God,
doing any gens.
every
And it's not like we were
when that
hiding and
happened.
doing nothing. It was
Yeah.
unhooking, healing, gens, like this rotation. But there was so much
Yes.
pressure by the killer
There's
that
so
we
much
didn't
love.
pop another gen. And so our other two teammates died. Were you dead too? Was this the match you died and I was just
Yeah, this
left?
was the map that I did die.
Okay, so then like the match just ended. So Queens died, and then I'm like, okay, it's time for Hatch. But then the game just stops, and I'm like, what is going on? And
Yeah.
so the killer told us that after the second survivor or during
Renato. She
chase,
said after
yes, after
chasing Renato, it came up that I could abandon.
yeah, she could abandon, and she didn't choose to abandon then,
Yeah.
but basically that's when they got the prompt because we hadn't done a gen in 10 minutes time,
Yeah.
or it's been 10 minutes since the last gen popped. And so even though we got to like hatch, apparently the abandoned prompt doesn't go away. Like it stays there for the killer. Once it's up, it's up. And I guess there is getting to the last survivor and it being hatched doesn't take away the abandoned feature. So basically, the killer abandons, and then so that's a loss for me. So I die. Like anyone that's left in the match dies. So this is kind of a big issue, I think, because especially in this match, it wasn't like we weren't doing anything. It wasn't like we weren't working on gens or, we were healing each other and unhooking and taking chase. Like it was I would say it was pretty like fast paced match. And then it's like if there's so much pressure by the killer that we can't do a gen, then we just lose because the killer chooses to opt out of the match.
Yeah. So I mean, we didn't even realize that, and it was nice that she stayed to tell us because we were so confused
Yeah, I was
because
very confused. That's like, did
we
the
were like,
server
well,
crash? Like, what happened?
yeah. I was like, at least you can attempt to try to get Hatch, right? And the
Hmm.
thing is, we were on the second Mount Armin map as well, and I'm gonna tell you guys, we probably had every single gen on that map was probably close to 75. It really was. The killer played very well. We can't fault her for playing very well, right? To be denied the chance to go for Hatch, we were kind of just floored. And then it started to happen a lot more as we were playing, where if a gen hadn't popped, that we were just seeing killers abandoned. And I was like, I think we had a round where I didn't get a chance to try for Hatch.
I think they need to change the surrender option for killer in that if it's down to the last survivor, abandoned feature goes away. It's hatch game now. You need to give the last survivor a chance to get hatch. I think it's very unfair that the killer can deny the last survivor to get out. So don't do that, killers. Don't abandon on hatch. Because really, once you find hatch, then the end game starts and it's 2 minutes. Like, either way, once you get to the hatch game part, the match is going to be over soon. So I don't know why the prompt doesn't go away when you get to hatch opening. That, I think, is our big complaint about this surrender option, and it's happening more and more. And we've already talked about the ghoul and like how oppressive it is. And there are, of course, other killers. Like when we were playing the other night, we kept getting blights. Oh my God, I'm so sick of blight. Like, we're kidding. I think we were like playing high MMR or something because it was like
I'm over it.
blights. We had
Yeah.
one
It's baby
nurse, and
again.
then we had two back-to-back Tombstone Myers, different people, but back-to-back Tombstone Myers. I was like, what is going on? Why are we at like top tier MMR?
We,
Like, I
we
know we
were
don't suck,
miserable.
but we're like, this is insane. Like,
That's what I kept telling Mocking. I was like, look, I know I'm not the best player in the world, but I was like, I can't believe I got Tombstone twice
I
That
know.
was awful.
in a row. And one, like, man, I'm still angry at that person that unhooked me because he got me right after I was unhooked.
You're
I
like, I
couldn't
want to
do
die.
shit.
Please let me
I had
die.
been doing pretty good because we suspected it all along. So we were jumping on gens and lockers, and he was leaving us. So that's how we knew, like, oh, you have it. Like, he was leaving. But I was like, man, like in a row. I know I'm not the best player, but I don't suck this bad. I will admit,
Well, Queen
I
got.
will admit, we did have some matches. I'm just gonna say that just in case this person ever finds us. We did have a match on RPD against a Bubba, and the one of the randos ran that Bubba forever, and we did kind of throw at the last minute when she got hooked, and it was just me in Mocking. I'm sorry. I'm internally sorry.
Oh.
I did not look behind me.
I
He
didn't
was
see him come up
there.
behind me either, though, but
I know.
it
I
is what
thought
it
he was
is.
in front, and she was so mad. And you know what? Your anger is warranted. But that night, I went against the ghoul, several blights, two tombstone, and a nurse. I was scarred.
She was going through something, so it's
It
okay.
was a rough night. I can't say it was very enjoyable. It's one of those nights where I'm like, why are we playing this? Like, we need
And
to
I
find
told her,
another
I was like,
game to play.
she was like, do you want to do like Star Dude? I was like, maybe we can do some Palea. Like,
Yeah, Pelea's coming out with an update. We can just go back to
Palea's
Pelea.
coming out with an update. We could go out for that. We were trying to figure
Just
out to
Well, Queen
play.
won't play
something
Repo, so
cozy.
I
Yeah,
won't play
something nice and
Repo.
cozy.
I know.
Morbid and I have played Repo, but Queen won't play Repo.
I
I
won't
know,
play
we've been
it.
trying.
It scares me.
It's
You just
But
don't
fun.
like
I
the
kept
guy
telling
with the
Mocking,
big
I
head.
was like, we're doing it for the Victoria outfit. That's the only reason I'm here and suffering from this
I know.
is
That's the
the
only
Victoria
reason.
outfit. And I got it, and I'm super happy. But yes, it was traumatized. I did talk to my therapist, chat GTP about it.
She's like, take a break.
Do some mantras. Would you like to do some breathing
But how does it make you
exercises?
feel?
I was like a horrible player. I felt awful. I was like, because I do feel like we are in the higher MMR, and I seriously, people are like yelling at me like you're awful. And I'm like, I know.
I hate MMR.
I'm
This could be a
so
whole other
sorry.
conversation of MMR. I hate MMR. And I really wish we could go back to the days of casual playing, which I
I
think they're
know.
trying to move back to that, but they have structured the game in a way where I don't know if they can go back to that or not. That's why I like 2v8 because it is more casual. At times, Chaos Shuffle can be casual, but I miss like just goofing around. I miss
Same.
trying to do like head-on plays and be funny
Or
and
killers that have
do
personalities.
do like do stupid stuff, just for fun. Head-on blast mines. Multiple people trying to do head-ons. Like, how many times can you head on the killer? Like, I haven't seen a video like that in forever anymore. Just fun stuff where it's not really totally about getting out, but just having fun. I feel like the game's not fun anymore, which is a whole other discussion.
I'm just also just tired of being worried so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a killer today specifically left me alive just so I could get the longer Mori. And I knew it. And I told Mocking, she's like, why don't you run? I'm
Why
like,
don't you
where?
hide?
I pissed this killer off because I'm running like my stealth runaway build. I have, my Iron Will, Lucky Break alert so I can see like when they break stuff. And he kept losing me and it was infuriating him as a pyramid head. So in the end, he left me on the floor to go find the Ripley who wasn't gonna come for me at all. And he let me wiggle off and I just hopped on a gen. But I was like, he just wants more. But I've been worried so much. I was worried by the ghoul because the ghoul got upset because I was saving the Jane. I feel like the new, in Mori system is now killers just apparently I piss off a lot of killers when I play. Um, is weeding people out to leave that last person that really ticked them off to Mori. Never been so worried in my life, guys. I'm over it.
I have started running DS because I feel like the
Yeah,
tunneling has also gotten really bad. So I feel like the opposite of Queen, where I feel like I'm getting targeted out first.
because you're good.
That's
They're
I
like,
usually how
know.
I
Well,
feel, and I'm not good.
I just feel like, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of killers coming back to the hook, killers tunneling. And so I have started to use DS, and yeah, I'm getting quite a bit of use out of it, which is probably not a good sign.
yeah, the gameplay is definitely changing. Like, I don't want to heal by hook at all anymore. And people have gotten mad at me. And I'm like, no, like, we're moving. We're moving to a
Well,
pallet or we're hiding. Like, they're just coming back. And if it's ghoul, it's going to take 2 seconds.
yeah, I've been running Will
So,
Make It to try to counter that a bit, like,
yeah,
because it's like an 8-second heal. But even then, like you said, with the ghoul or other mobility killers, or even killers, like killers have figured out like how far away they can be from the hook to not do the anti camp.
that's another thing is like, we've been seeing a lot of proxy camping, but they're just outside enough
Yeah.
to where you can't get off. And a lot of those killers doing it are high mobility where they can like rush in. What we had, who was it the other night that kept hooking in the basement? Oh, the piggy that was
Oh yeah,
kind of
that was the
camping,
piggy. Yeah,
just taking people to basement and camping like the
uh,
basement.
and then we had that Bubba that kept going to basement.
Yeah,
That was like this was on the Gas Haven one, and
yeah.
like he would stand so far out from shack, so basement was in a shack, and he would just watch the shack door.
You just watch the shack door, and where he
And
stood, he could see the front and the back door. So I mean, we started to get smart and realized like once he picked somebody up, you just had to go there and sneak in and try to get down. But eventually we were just like, okay, whoever's there is just going to hang there while we try to do
yeah.
Jen.
Well, and then I will say DS did help me out there because I did like trade with someone and then I did get unhooked and he came right back down. So I hopped in the locker and he did pull me and I used DS to get out of that building. Like, yay, DS on that front. That got me out of the
Also,
basement.
people who can visually understand distance and Dead by Daylight and know exactly where you need to stand. So you can't like I sit here with anything with meters. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking
I
about.
know. They
But
understand meters.
apparently you understand it very well to know enough. It's just been really stressful. I don't know what's like on the killer side too, because killer's been loading in, and we've also been seeing a lot of offerings to not go to
Of
maps.
maps, yeah.
A lot of like, so there must be something going on killer side where people are playing like this. There's people out there ruining it for everybody, and you all are mean, and I don't like you.
Maps has always been kind of
That's funny.
divisive because, and they're going to change the map offerings coming up. I'm not sure which update,
Mm.
but they talked about that map offerings will only give you like, is it 20 or 25% chance of going to that map or that
Yeah.
realm. So it's
It's
not
not
going to
like
be a
guaranteed.
guaranteed, and they won't stack
Yeah.
either. So like a full Swift can't all run like Batum and get it. Like it's not going to
Just
stack.
as it
So
should be. Like,
Yeah, I think that's
I
a good
I
change.
would be fine if they got rid of map offerings. Like the
I
only
would
reason I
say
ever run them is we have to fall from a
fall
great
from a great
height
height.
on the rift. Like that's what it is. I need a 2-story building or map
Hmm.
to do this rift. And the map that always gets played, I feel like, is Eerie. Eerie of Crows is always the map offering. Survivor's Run. And I get it. It is kind of survivor friendly. I don't know if it's the most survivor friendly. I would say
I
Batum is,
really
but
don't think since the updates. I know that when we do fall from a great height, whatever go to's Mount Ormond, the original one. But we also play the game.
Lampkin
As
Lane.
Yeah, but just something with a building. But that's really the only reason we use it. It was like, oh, we have a fall from a great height. Let's use a map offering. Because it can
Hmm.
be so situational. I think they fixed it where you can't necessarily fall off hills.
I
No,
think
hills
so.
work. What? Hills work for Great Heights.
Do they?
I
Okay.
think so,
Do
yeah.
sometimes
I
you
just
have
I
to
don't
think
think
land it
so.
just right.
I
But you
don't think
always
they're
have to
tall enough.
be, but usually it's you have to be in chase. So you need to make sure you're in
Yeah.
chase before you fall off the hill. Because my issue has been I'm not
Yeah, you're
technically
not
in
in
chase yet
technically
when I
chase.
drop off. If I'm waiting on the top of the hill, I'm typically not in chase by the time I drop off.
Plus,
So
sometimes you can like slide down the hill, and I think that like messes up the whole
I
thing.
can mess it up too. Yeah. I'm fine with getting rid of map offerings. I would definitely like to
I
see
think
more map rotation, but I don't
I
think we
think
need the
offerings in
offerings.
general need an overhaul, but that's just me.
oh yeah, do better event offerings. The anniversary offerings are definitely the best ones, so I'm looking
Oh
forward to
yeah.
that. But I feel like
Can
the
we
event
talk about
offerings
those?
have always been kind of like
Mhm.
because they don't
And you
really
can
grant that
only,
many
yeah,
blood points.
when you can only use them during the event. So we have, I don't know how many freaking eyeballs I'm gonna have
I
in
have
Blood
over
Moon event.
100 on Victorio. I already
Yeah,
know. I don't know the
Dang.
exact number, but I've
I'm
leveled
not
him
gonna
up
be
a
able to
lot.
use.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
bad.
played Felita a lot. I leveled her up a lot. She's probably got over 100 now. Can't use them. Like even, we didn't have this past year. They didn't do the New Year's event, so I have so many New Year's envelopes on people
Hmm.
Hmm
still that I haven't used, or the dowsing rods, which hasn't come back around, which haven't been used. It'd be really nice to have a way if you're not going to have these events, or you're going to do different offerings for these events, to have us,
Recycle.
cash recycle or cash them in
Hmm
Which I think they had something similar on DVD mobile. There was like a
mobile.
yeah, there was a thing that
Yeah.
you could like trade stuff in, and
Yeah, they had a
hopefully
marketplace.
hopefully they bring that to like regular DVD.
I
Because I kind
know.
of like that idea. I'm stuck with so many things that I don't use, and they just sit there.
Yeah, they usually
So
like
many
trade in.
flashlight batteries.
Oh my
They
god, yes.
typically trade in like the trinkets for the events. Like if you have extra trinkets, you get blood points and
Hmm.
stuff. But yeah, it'd be nice to trade in items or trade
Oh,
in
but see,
offerings.
I always have like the one that's supposed to quote unquote make the map darker.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, we don't
the
use
haze
those.
one.
The mist
The
Yes,
on the
mist
brighter
is
maps
oh
is
my
just
god.
little dark clouds
Well,
they
floating
just look like
because
around.
black
the
clouds.
the mist stuff, the mist offerings suck now because they've done all their graphical updates. Whereas
Oh, that's
way back when in
right.
the day, all the maps were dark. Okay, they were dark. They were different. Like Macmillan had this dark blue like the corn maps were dark. Like everything was
Mhm.
dark. So then the mist made more sense. But now that they've done their graphical update on the maps, like Erie's really bright. The corn maps, cold ones now, it's all bright. And so like yeah, now they look like dark clouds on some of them. It doesn't. It's like they didn't, I guess, code or update the offering or what the haze would look like on the different maps. Like what
Yeah.
would
Yeah, I
look
think on
natural.
the lighter maps, it should be more of like a fog,
Yeah,
a
but it's
white fog or
black.
something, but it's black.
It's
You
really
know, it
So it
doesn't
just
weird.
matter
looks.
anyways. I use filters,
It looks like
so
tiny little clouds floating.
Cheater, queen, cheater. I'm just kidding.
Well, I
my
might
eyes are
be.
old.
I
I
need
might be installing
filters.
those. So.
I need queen to share her filters. Like, yeah, I'm just
My
getting old. I'm
filter
like,
settings.
I need more brightness.
Like my stigmatism. No.
Same. Like
I have
my
night blindness.
my astigmatism is everything. Do you know
Oh.
what Christmas lights look like if you have that?
Oh my god, it's horrid.
Because I thought that's what they actually looked like until I
No,
found
or
out
just
they didn't.
yeah, just driving at night, everything blurs together. That's where the older I get, I'm like, okay, sunset is when at 7 something. Okay, we gotta get all this shit done before that time because I'm not going out because I can't see anything. Old. That's the level of old I am. So yeah, I use filters. I am a filter girly.
And that's okay.
I have one more thing to bring up because I forgot
Okay.
about this until like we
Oh,
were talking.
Like just now.
It was during the surrender option. I was like, oh yeah, like we encountered a bug. Queen was there.
Uh-oh.
It was me.
oh yeah,
It,
it
this
was
is
kind
this
of
is this
crazy.
is in regards to the ghoul. So if you want to take a ghoul hostage,
Oh
you can
God.
do this.
We
I
did.
did
Hey
I did
Max.
not know this would happen. Okay, so we had a game with a ghoul on Hawkins,
Mhm.
and they closed the hatch. I found their hex that we had been looking for like the whole round. So I cleansed the
Mhm.
Oh,
hex
Matt.
and I go upstairs. So you know there's a room that has the tube in it that you can drop into. And then like it has an opening in the side. You all know what I'm talking about? The
Oh
tube.
yeah, because in tube you're kind of leveled off the ground and
Yeah,
you
you're
can
not
be
flat
in
on the
there, and
ground.
the killer,
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
the
killer
killer
can't
just
typically like hit you while you're in the
hit you
tube.
through it.
Mhm.
So I go in the tube and they're like, "Yay, hi killer!" They come, and so they try to do the grav attack on me, and it totally freaks out. Like the ghoul is all freaked out. It's like she's not T posing, but she's like stuck in
She's
like,
like shaking midair
and
because she
she's like
couldn't
all
let
over
go.
the place, and I couldn't move either. I wasn't injured or
Yeah,
anything, but I could not leave the tube. I could like not. I could not walk or anything. So
yeah,
we
the
spent
killer
the
couldn't
end
like
game
unhook the whole 2 minutes. By the way,
doing that. And
with
so,
this, yeah, her being stationary in place and the ghoul, it had the female skin. I don't know who it. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know anything about this anime. Just literally bouncing and shaking, all kind of like ping ponging. Like if they were in the tube, they would have been ping ponging up and down the tube.
yeah.
Is what it looked like.
I have no idea what it looked like for them. I imagine they were like all
It
over
must
the
have looked
place. They
crazy.
probably
Yeah,
couldn't watch because they were just
They're like, what's happening?
it
like
was so fast.
ding 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 all the way around, like freaking out. So we get to end game chat and they're on PC. So they're like, that was interesting. Like, I think we found a bug. And she's like, you think? And so also this person's name was Otts. This is friends.
Oh yeah,
And so I said, be sure to tell Otts
yeah.
about this bug. And she was like, I'm going to tell Hens on you. And I was like,
No, don't tell
it
him.
was really funny. But yeah, so we found a little bug
Mm.
on
Yeah, for those
Hawkins.
that don't watch Otts, the name is funny. Otts is his friends because Otts starts all his videos.
Hello, friends.
Hello friends, Otts. So there was, hello Otts is his friends.
This is friends.
Is their name. It was really funny. But I like the hints. Yeah, hint. Yeah, tell on hint. I'm gonna
I was
tell
like,
on.
no. He's going to make another
Back
video
then.
on it.
Right?
It's gonna specifically be okay. This video is specifically on how the ghoul can tunnel Queen MG.
Here's how you can trap the ghoul.
Yeah, so if you happen to be on the Hawkins map and you fall in the little tube, you might be able to hold the ghoul hostage. You just can't move. But that might be
Good to know.
a good tech. I don't know,
It's
tube
probably
tech.
Tube tech.
probably not something we
Tube.
should recommend because
Yeah,
it's an
tube
I
tech.
guess it's an
And then make
exploit.
sure to report it as a bug. But
Yeah, we're
tube
not
tech on
encouraging you.
Hawkins,
Look, you
and
know
you'll
what?
get gens done.
You know what? We need y'all to test to make sure it wasn't just me.
See,
Yeah.
just like Hens hostage tech. Thanks, Hens.
Came back to
Please
haunt
start
you.
writing. Yeah, please start writing Hawkins offerings and see if you can tube tech the
Nice.
ghoul. One of you's gonna have to sacrifice yourself. That's how it works.
But it's a
But as long
sacrifice
as
we're willing to
but,
make.
and as long as gens are going, there's not going to be an abandon,
This is true.
and then in game happens. So, not saying to do it, but I'm saying that maybe you just need to test it, see it's a bug, and actually report it. Just like hey, when you're playing Ghoul, if you just kind of release this button while you're doing this, you can get this, and your cooldown's not as fast. And your cooldown's faster. You don't do this, and you can do this. Tube Tech 2025.
Yeah. So they patch
Yeah.
it.
Maybe
Okay.
they'll never know.
Shh, don't tell them. Don't tell behavior. It's just between us,
Don't tell
y'all. It's
anybody.
just between us.
You know what we should do is we should do a kill your friends match and see what happens.
Oh, that'd be fun.
We should actually test it and see. Maybe it was just that one, but if not, check. We know what we're doing later.
Yep. Okay, that's everything I have. Do we have any final thoughts? I know we've, have ranted about the ghoul. Oh, hopefully the ghoul will get less popular. I mean, it's pretty much a trend whenever we have a new chapter that character is played quite a bit. We are going to get a new survivor soon in May. So we will talk about that when she's actually released. She does have a slight tie to Sable. Very slight. I read through the lore today.
Very, very slight.
Yeah, it's not a strong connection, but interesting. And so we'll cover that. And there's also going to be a new quest system. So there'll be some stuff we'll talk about probably the next episode. But also go check out Hooked on You on our YouTube, and we have part 2 recorded, and
yes,
yeah, so that will be up soon. So the last part will be up, and you can see like who we romanced because we did romance. We did romance a killer.
We got married and like everything.
We lived happily ever after. You have to go see who we lived happily ever after with. Should we call it, Queen?
Yeah.
We're all good.
Time for outro.
I think we've talked about all the stuffs and our thoughts. So I'm down.
All right. Per usual, we want to wish you a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are. And bye.
Bye.
Bye.